In this short video, we're going to learn how to enter scores for question types that are not automatically scored by OARS. These question types would include new questions that are available in OARS or could be teacher-created questions. These might be performance tasks, short text response type questions that require a teacher to assess the question item and then come into OARS to enter the score. To do this, you'll want to log into OARS, and at the top right you will see an Enter Scores button. K-5 teachers will see that next to the report card button. When you click on the Enter Scores button, first thing to notice is that OARS has placed a link to a 3-minute video that will explain essentially the same process as this. There are 3 main things you want to look at here on this page. There's a Choose a Subject, Enter Individual Items, or near the bottom, Enter Subtest Scores. For the most part, you will not need to worry about the Enter Subtest Scores. The first thing to do is to choose a subject. The subject is the assessment folder in which the assessment is stored. These are folders in which like assessments are stored. You could also access your own user-created tests or keys. For this example, I'm going to use the K-5 Math Unit Study Guide assessment as it contains some good examples of some of the things I'm talking about. Once I choose the assessment type or the assessment folder, both of these windows down below now will populate with the assessments that are available in that folder. I'm going to use the arrow buttons to navigate to the assessment where I know that my students have done some of the questions using the bubble sheet, but other items require me to manually enter them in. I could use the bubble sheet to scan these in and they would automatically be here, but another option is to have students skip those and have teachers can enter the scores here online. Once I locate the assessment I'm looking for, I simply click on it. What will come up next is a matrix or a table for your entire class list, and you will see the questions that OARS has been able to score and those that they have not. So across the top are my individual question numbers. In this particular assessment, I see 13 questions. For question number 3 here, you'll notice that it's a traditional multiple choice question in which there was one correct answer, and I can see the responses that my students put. Numbers 1 and 2 and some others here are examples of students needing to select all of the correct answers or all that apply. Other items might simply be a C for correct or I for incorrect. Number 6 and number 8 are 2 questions in which the students had to do something, write something, and I need to take a look at that paper and give it a score. If I've done that process and I now have the scores ready to enter, then I come to this page to actually go ahead and enter the scores. If I just float my mouse over number 6, a little window pops up that tells me that this question type was a rubric question. So in this particular example, students may have had to explain how they solved a problem, and I read that paragraph or that piece of text and I give them a score. I can simply start entering scores by clicking on the cell, and what happens is automatically OARS gives me the options that are available for that score. Since it's a 2-point rubric, my options are 0, 1, 2, or I can leave it as an empty cell. If I select a 2, OARS automatically advances down to the next column, and we're going to see how to change that to different directions. There are a couple other options. At the top of each question, number, there is a small triangle. It gives you some options to autofill the entire column. So I can say on the first selection, fill column with the correct answer. Or because this particular question type had a rubric, I can simply say that all of my students got 2s, and then I can go back and individually change any students who did not get that score. So it's a great time-saving feature. In addition, there's also an options menu over here on the left. And this allows you to select the auto advance. In this particular case, you could see that I had already selected vertical auto advance because I didn't want to enter scores across horizontally. I want to simply work vertically in this particular column. But if I were entering in scores student by student, then I might select horizontal response, and then it would response for this particular question from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. And if I needed to enter scores in, I could do it that way. As you work, you'll notice that your work is being auto-saved by OARS. This word here says saved, but you might notice at times it'll say saving. Once it's saved, your work is ready to be saved. When you're done, simply click Done.